Well, the second convoy of aid trucks has gone into Gaza today, but just how desperately needed is that aid, and what is the situation really like in Gaza right now? Well, Ghassan Abu Sitta is a plastic and reconstructive surgeon at Shifa Hospital in Gaza City, and he joins us now. Dr. Abu Sitta, thank you so much for being with us here on Sky News. I mean, I'm guessing the answer to my question is that you need everything, but there are these 17 trucks that have just been allowed into Gaza. What are your priorities? What do you hope is in those trucks that will reach you?
I mean, the number of trucks is minuscule. We have 14,000 people who've been wounded in the last 2 weeks, and we have almost run out of everything you can conceivably think of that is involved in the treatment of these critically wounded patients. We've run out of burns dressings and specialist burn gauzes that we need for over 100 burns patients that we have. We've run out of a lot of the intensive care equipment that we use. The hospital now has 5 intensive care areas to care for the critically wounded. A lot of the dressings, a lot of the medication that are specialists for kids. 40% of the 14,000 wounded are children, and a lot of those consumables have been used up. And so sending that number of trucks is a drop in the ocean, and it will not make a tangible difference to the outcome for a lot of these wounded patients.
Shifa Hospital, correct me if I'm wrong, is the biggest hospital, certainly in and around the Gaza city, and a lot of people go there for safety as well. What pressure does that put on things like water, for example? So not necessarily medical, but that, of course, you would need.
So if you walk around the Shifa Hospital compound, it's turned into a refugee camp. There's thousands, if not tens of thousands of people who have sought refuge into every available corner of the hospital grounds and into the stairwells, the corridors of the wards and the buildings. That is in itself a public health catastrophe waiting to happen. That's a cholera or a typhus epidemic waiting to happen. With the water shortages, that means that those epidemics are even more likely to happen. We have water shortages. Drinking water is becoming more and more difficult to get hold of. There are queues when you walk outside the hospital, queues in front of water, and people trying to get drinking water. And certainly the presence of these internally displaced makes the situation, a bad situation, worse, particularly that the hospital has 3 times the number of wounded in it that it has beds. And so we have wounded patients on mattresses on the floor, in the corridors, in the emergency department, everywhere you can imagine. There are patients who have been put up on mattresses and on beds, on trolleys. Every available space is now being used up.